Hello, and welcome back to part three of Storytelling with Data. So far, we have told stories that are this big and the grandest of tales. So, what does that leave? Well, everything in between, and you'll notice we still have quite a few that we can talk about. So, we're going to go ahead and focus our conversation around some of my personal favorites, line and slope graph. And don't be fooled. Just because they both tell stories with lines doesn't mean they tell the same type of stories, nor do they tell them in the same ways. So we're going to go ahead and get started by talking about line. What type of story does this graph like to tell? Well, in a word, it talks about journeys. It is concerned with a main character or a main character and a few of their companions and every step they take along the way in their tale. In order to relate this to something to my own life, we are going to take a little trip of our own. We're heading to DragonCon. So, DragonCon is a convention that is held annually in Atlanta, Georgia, and it allows enthusiasts like myself come together to talk about their love of fantasy and sci-fi. Our journey is going to start in Denver, Colorado, and of course, our destination, just a hop, skip, and a jump across the United States into Atlanta, Georgia. We could take the straightest path and probably get there in no time at all, but what's the rush? What about taking a little bit of a pit stop over in Kansas and seeing the largest ball of twine in the nation? Or taking a little journey down south into Oklahoma and seeing a 60-foot tall LED soda pop can? I mean, that's a lot of height. We could also take a little hop over the Mississippi River and go to Memphis, Tennessee, and have some of their world famous barbecue. Finally, we will arrive in Atlanta, Georgia, taking us to DragonCon. Now, for those of us paying really close attention, you will have noticed I've drawn a graph. Yes, this is technically the different stops of our journey, but it is a line graph. So let's go ahead and apply a little of that magic that goes around it, some of the fixings that we expect with graphs, as well as a few of my own. We gain our axes, a little bit of text, and what do you know it? Mission accomplished. We successfully made it to the convention. Hey, and it only took 2 days. Now, we don't just have to tell stories that have a single character. Comparative stories are also incredibly valuable. So what if I compared the actual journey along with the projection? I mean, I guess I could have made it there in a day, but twice the memories, I always say. May have taken twice the time, but it was well worth it. I got to see some things that I didn't have a chance to see before. Now we turn our conversation to another storyteller that likes to tell its stories with lines, Slope Graph. What is this going to be about? Well, as we already talked about, line graphs enjoy telling stories that follow every moment of the tale. They want to tell every little bit. It's like watching every episode in your favorite series, right? But slope graph's a little different. It starts with the beginning and it goes straight to the end. The purpose of a slope graph is to provide a summation. We don't have a lot of time to talk about all of the gritty details and every step that the character took. Just give me the first episode and give me the last episode and call it a day. This can be incredibly valuable if you're trying to perform a comparative between, say, 2 points in time. And that's what we're going to do. We're headed back to DragonCon and we're going to partake in one of our favorite activities, attending panels. Now, what's a panel? This is when you go to listen to usually one or more individuals that are fairly famous on a topic talk about something that we already know something about. And wouldn't you know it, there are quite a few panels that occur at the convention, and hey, look, Firefly. It may have taken 20 years in complete isolation for you to finally make it there, but now everybody's talking about you. Sorry, everybody else, but go Firefly. We can understand with this little snapshot that shows 2 points in time, something that happened 20 years ago, and what has happened now, we get the summation of the radical changes that have occurred in that period without having to take a little stop every single time there was a panel or every single time that there was a new year or a new convention. Snapshot, summary. So yes, they both tell stories with lines, but the stories they tell are very different indeed. Thank you again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this little journey of ours talking about line and slope, and I look forward to talking with you again about even more of our friends in storytelling with data. Take care.